We're back.
Oh, fuck.
And Heather's breaking her couch
Stuck
again.
my toe on the way down.
We're having our temperamental issues today. So we've been trying to start this recording for probably about 20 minutes.
Probably longer.
Probably.
Just various obstacles, various weight hold-ons.
Yeah, she had to pee, then she had to do our eyeliner, then I had to
snort her cocaine.
My Sinex so I can breathe. So yeah, and that was like 4 paper towels later. So, we're back. Welcome back to Sappho and her sister. We are painting today.
Yeah, as you can see, we got much smaller canvases than last time, and we're not actually going to be following a specific tutorial anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to put that idea on the back burner, but right now we're just going to wing it, freehand it. We're going to have a nice, fun, chill painting sesh, a little bit of chit-chat in the meantime. Would you like to introduce our topic?
Yes. So, our topic is cults.
Specifically MLMs.
Yes.
Because one of us has had experience with one.
Can you tell which one? Let us know which one you think it is. But yeah, it was me. So I got some experiences, about 4.5 years worth. Pretty much my whole early 20s, to be very honest, unfortunately. So, yeah, we're gonna kind of be queuing and A-ing and queuing as we are painting.
Yeah. We're gonna follow the same basic prompt of just making a sunset.
Hang on.
Girl, is the world ending?
Hey dog, what's up? Hey, we're recording for the pod. You wanna say hi? Hang on. You're not on speaker. One second. Alright, go ahead.
Am I live?
Yeah, well, you're on a recording, but you will be live when we post it.
Oh, what's up, podcast?
Any wise words to say to the people?
I'm about to have a couple beers here in a little bit. I just got some at the gas station. So, it's Friday night. Enjoy a couple beers or whatever you like. And,
Oh shit, it is Friday.
Yeah.
good or bad, let's get at her.
Yeah. Wise words from the strength and conditioning collegiate coach from Western Kentucky University, y'all.
Oh my
Wow,
god.
you didn't have to throw me under the bus like that.
Hey, I didn't say your name.
We could cut out whatever you want us to.
No, we won't.
Alright, well, to the listeners of Sappho and her sister, enjoy the rest of the episode.
Thanks. Over and out. That was perfect. Sorry, y'all. For those who do not know, that was my lovely cousin from Kentucky. He's from Buffalo, but lives in Kentucky now. So, yeah, just call him.
He's iconic.
Yeah, I hope to have him, we hope to have him on the pod one day, either remotely, like calling in with Zoom, or in person, because he is a fucking blast. And he's got some stories.
Oh, he should come visit.
He does.
When?
He'll be back, I think, in like May or July, after the season is done.
We'll have to schedule
And then
him.
he comes around Christmas. Yeah, he was here over Christmas break, but he was busy, as everybody else was too. Mm-hmm. So anyway, back to what we were saying.
Oh, I was gonna say, I remember back when I first met you, you were into
already deep in there.
Yeah, and I just remember none of us were had a good feeling about that.
Mm-hmm.
But we were like, well, should we say would it be rude to say something? Cause we knew it was multi-level marketing, and we were like, I don't know if I trust that. But you were so into it, and I didn't know you as well at the time, so it was just going with it.
Yeah, don't fall for it, ladies and gentlemen, mainly ladies.
Also, just to establish, are we going to name what you were in or no?
Sure. It was
Okay.
Am of the Way. The oldest beast out there.
Yeah.
Fucking savages.
I gotta say,
Are we starting to paint, by the way?
yeah, we can.
Okay.
I gotta say, I genuinely did like that eyeliner that I used.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like a sub brand called Artistry, and I was like addicted to their eyeliner. But I found a new one that I really like. It's off brand from Sephora, and it's so much cheaper. And it's perfect.
Yay!
When I was like actively switching, I literally like brought the eyeliner that I had to Sephora, and I like swatched a little bit at my hand, and I went around to every single fucking brand, and I was like swatching all of the eyeliners to see like which one like was the most similar because what I liked about it was like it didn't like smear. Instead, it kind of like flaked off.
Solidified. Yeah.
You could peel it off.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind that I have, you don't really peel it off as easy as the other one, but it still does like it still has basically the same qualities that I like.
I'm zoning out trying to figure out where I want to start. So please don't mind me if I'm like.
And
I'm
there was a perfume that you got me
Mm-hmm. It was very
for
flowery.
Christmas. I like that a lot. I still
Really?
like it. Yeah.
I kind of hate it.
Why?
I hated it. It was too like it was okay because I was blinded by the cult, but
You hated it, but you got it for me as a gift anyway.
Well,
And Marie, I think.
here's the thing. So, the way that they do it usually is
They'll make you buy products.
well, yeah, no shit. But they're like, oh, when Christmas or birthdays or whatever comes around, you like give them your own products instead of going to buy other ones. So you benefited from it, even though you personally bought it. You're still like making a profit. Not really. You're basically just spending extra money.
I did get quite a few products from
Yeah.
your line. But I still have the perfume and I like it. And I'm
Oh,
never
okay.
ordering another one because I'm not going to
Absolutely
give
not.
those people business. And I don't go through perfume that much anyway, so.
Yeah.
Oh, Lily Bean is on her chair.
My chair.
It's her chair.
It's my chair?
It's her chair.
My chair. Okay.
It may have started out as your chair, but it's hers now.
Sure.
It's her spot.
Sure. So, any questions for me, Heather, about it? I guess we'll start
How did this
there.
whole thing get started for you?
So I was in college, and as you know, you meet a bunch of different people and whatever. So my friend group, okay, to back up, I was part of a program called the Educational Opportunity Program. If you don't know what that is, basically,
Never heard of it.
I was dumb and broke. So it's for low income and low SAT score kids. And they basically give you a chance to try out college for like a month. So I straight applied to my college, got denied, and then
Really?
I spoke with someone
Why did they deny you?
because I didn't have the correct SAT scores.
Correct SAT.
Well,
High enough.
Yeah, exactly. So, then they told me to apply through the EOP program, and I'd get a secondary deny letter from general admission, but I'd get accepted through the EOP program. So I technically got denied twice and accepted once. So you go and you spend 4 weeks on campus, basically trial running college. And if your grades are good, we still had to do classes and everything. And we had mandatory.
So you still had to do classes and everything?
Yeah, we had mandatory fun.
What?
Yeah.
That's the name of a Weird Al album.
Yeah, it was I don't know. But majority of the kids were from not Buffalo. There was only 3 Buffalo kids from like in the program, me being one of them, but a lot of them were not Caucasian and they were from like the city or Albany or Binghamton or Syracuse or whatever. So a lot of different types of people. So
You also went to a very diverse college.
I did, which I loved. I absolutely loved. Like my entire friend group from the program was pretty much differing.
Different backgrounds.
Well, one was Mexican, one was, I think, Puerto Rican, the other one was Dominican, the other one was Dominican, and they were all from different parts of New York City. So one was from each borough. A couple of them were Haitian. So we had a good variety of people. So what had happened was, there was a time where they were kind of like, and this was back in like 2015, 2016. So, and I was kind of like, I don't want to say like a basic white girl because I wasn't, but
You were more basic than I was.
on the outside it looked like it because I had the Uggs, I had the North Face, which I bought all myself. I bought my own iPhone.
You very much were a typical teenager.
I was 19 and 20.
When you were a teenager, you were very typical.
Yeah, kind of. So, I looked very privileged, I guess I would call it. And compared to my friends, they would make fun of me for it. And I'm like, guys, we were all in the same program. Like, what the fuck? Like, I saved up 3 refund checks from school to buy my first car. And I drove everybody around, taught all my friends how to drive and all that. So, like, I worked hard for everything. And at the time, they were just being really nasty to me. And
would you even consider them friends at that point? Like,
towards the end, no. Because I would like, not. What the fuck? Like, and I don't want to have this come across the wrong way. Like, I would ask certain questions that sounded very ignorant, but ignorant in the way of like, I just genuinely didn't know and I wanted to understand. And majority of them knew that. Like, they would be like, oh, like, don't say this. And not that I would say bad terms, but it's like, oh, like, what does that mean? And they would actually explain it to me.
Like, careful, white girl.
No, like, they were like, oh, like, hey, here's a heads up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, oh, this is what this means, so, like, now you know. And, it was very, like, helpful, and I appreciated it, so I felt like I not necessarily, like, had an in, but I was like, oh, okay, like, I have friends where I can, if I don't understand something, I don't have to be ashamed to ask them. Yeah. And coming from a very Caucasian redneck school...
You said it, not me.
I appreciated it because I was like, okay, what the hell? So at that time, there was this one kid who was, I can't remember if he was also a part of the EOP program or like his roommate was, and I think his roommate was. So we were always like across the hall from his room, so we all knew each other. And he was like, oh shit, that's a little too much. So he messaged me, and this was like sophomore year. He messaged me and he's like, hey, how are you? Like, how's school going? Whatever, like casual chit chat and everything. And I'm like, oh, good, whatever. And it was kind of strange that he reached out to me because I was like, I never really like talked to him one-on-one. Yeah. But he was always like pretty on top of his shit and whatnot. So I was like, okay, cool, like not a big deal, whatever. And at the time I was kind of looking for a new friend group anyway. So I was like, oh, perfect. And he kind of like separated himself from the group in a way. So I wasn't really like too... Like, I kind of felt like I could trust him a little bit. And then he was like, hey, like, you know, you seem like kind of the smart one out of the group. Like, and at this time, like, all of my previous friends were drinking every weekend, like smoking all the time. And granted, like I would too, but my first full year, I was like, okay, I should probably like get my shit together and like get an internship and whatnot. So I was looking for other opportunities to make money and be in my field. And I was going for occupational therapy at the time.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I started out as a physical therapy major.
I did not know that.
Yep, I wanted to be a Spanish-speaking physical therapist.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And travel to like Hispanic countries and help them.
Yeah.
And I wanted to study abroad, but that never happened. So, anyway, back to the story. So, I was looking for other opportunities to like help out. I was in an internship with the sex ed program, basically on campus, and that was like my first semester doing that. So I was like, okay, cool. And he asked me to go to like, he's like, hey, like I have this thing going on, and I had never heard of an MLM or anything. Like I had no idea what the fuck. Like I had no basis of what anything was.
Yeah.
So I was super naive, and I think it was like February, because I was supposed to go watch my best friend's kid, and the night that they wanted to meet on campus, and I was like, okay, well, like, it's got to be between this time and this time, because I have to be in Hamburg by this time. Whoops. So they were talking about everything, and it kind of made, like, it logically made sense, but I didn't have any basis to know that it was wrong. So I was just very uneducated on, like, that part of, like, the world, I guess, or that type of world. So, like, I knew scammers existed, but I didn't know to the vast of what they were. So then the friend who was across the hall, like, he got me started and everything. And then, like, 3 months after I started, he quit. So I was like, okay. But, throughout that time, like, the person who got him started was his, like, frat buddy or whatever. They were in a frat together. And so technically, because the way the uplines work, since my original friend who got me in kind of faded away, his frat buddy who got him in was technically my upline. So I also had like the biggest crush on this kid. So, but he was so sweet, like very wholesome, like very just generally nice kid, you know? And I actually started at Life Storage because of him. So he's the one.
Are you gonna bleep any of this out?
No, I'm being cautious because Life Storage isn't even a company anymore.
True.
Wow, what the fuck?
What?
How is yours so good and mine looks like trash?
Well, you're just getting started. I'm literally just blending colors together. It's that simple, and it looks so fucking amazing when you do. There was one point, you're gonna have a blast editing this. There was one point where like I was so happy with how my gradient was turning out, where I like just like held up to the camera. I'm like, look at this, while you were talking.
Anyway, got my first kind of big girl job, I guess, because of him. And then he moved back to the city. And then,
New York City?
Mm-hmm. So, I'm currently in doing the thing. And I was probably in for like maybe a year and a half. Yeah, because I think it was like 19 or 20. And I think I met you when I was 20 or 21. Something like that. And majority of the people that were in were not Caucasian. They were pretty much all Indian. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I remember you had a social circle that was like a lot of people from India.
Yeah, or like different parts of like I don't want to say the Middle East, but kind of that like realm in a way. So I got to learn a lot of like different backgrounds, which was absolutely great. Like I don't regret that, but I just regret the way that I found out about, like the way that I learned it, you know? So then the person who was above the frat guy who went back to New York City, he was the one like helping me with everything, and very early on he started calling me baby, dog,
God.
being flirty, smiley faces, and I was a total bitch to guys around this time. I was like, I'm not a doll, I'm not fake, please don't call me that. That was like my go-to line.
That's not being a bitch, that's being a human being. That is not a fucking toy.
Yeah, so I
don't even like baby as a pet name.
If I'm like dating someone, sure, but from a random person, no.
Even that, like I will not let John call me that. I'm like, listen, you can call me babe. I draw the line at baby.
Yeah, I mean it just depends, like preference, but I mean it was like I'm not exclusively dating you, so like what the fuck. And then the guy from New York City, he actually got a cat from my best friend.
Oh, I remember the cat.
Yeah, and I was the godmother because I kind of connected them. And he, I would like, when he would go back to the city, he would be like, hey, can you like come and watch her? And I'm like, yeah, sure, not a problem, whatever. So, the one night, and him and the guy above him and I were roommates. So I was over one night watching the cat, and I didn't know that the guy above us was home. So I was like messaging, whatever, and I was like, oh, like, and I was that weird person that would like do a bunch of shit unasked. Like, I would clean their disgusting apartment for free just because it was bothering me.
Oh,
and
God.
Two single guys right out of college living together, it's fucking nasty.
Girl, you are not their maid.
Yeah, exactly. But, so, like, if I was there babysitting the cat anyway, I was like, you know what, I'll load the dishwasher or whatever. I'll, like, wipe off the stove. Stupid wife shit for people. So, just that. And then I didn't realize the other guy was home. So he was like, oh, are you cat sitting? And I was like, yeah, why? He's like, oh, there's a bottle of vodka in the freezer. Can you bring it in my room? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, okay, why? And he's like, just bring it in. And I was like, okay. Still not knowing that he was home. And then I opened the door and he's sitting at his desk, like, gaming. And I'm like, oh, shit. I was, like, singing a shit ton earlier. My bad. So that was great. And then we ended up having sex.
How did point A get to point B?
Alcohol. It's a very quick path.
I guess so.
So that had happened, and not proud of it. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh, like I feel icky about this. But then I was like, you know what? I think I might go back. And then it started like a little friends with benefits thing, off and on. But we couldn't say anything to anybody because it was like frowned upon inside the cult. That's what I'm gonna call it. So we couldn't say anything. It had to be kept a secret. And I would basically like one meeting every Friday would be like at their apartment. So like they would make food or whatever, and I would just stay after to like clean up basically stay till everybody left, and then would like have sex. Basically, that's how it kind of went. And then he lost his job. Oh, that looks so nice.
Ooh, it does.
Yay, I did something.
You did do something.
He lost his job, and so he was trying to like build a business more.
Business.
Yeah, exactly. Basically recruit more people. And he would, and I was still in school at the time, and I would work pretty much part-time. Like, I would base my school schedule off of, or base my work schedule off of my school schedule. So if I worked, or if I had class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would work Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's basically like a workaholic.
Yeah, you are.
Can you tell? Mm-hmm. So
even when you're unemployed.
Yeah, right?
Workaholic.
Pretty much. So then there was this one girl that I confided into who was like a friend at the time, and she was my cross line. And they always say like, oh, you can't make friends in a cross. Like, if you're gonna be friends with someone, have it be your upline, but like don't pass negative up or down. So they were like, there was just a whole bunch of stupid rules that I like didn't really understand. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna hang out with her anyway. Like, whatever, how are they gonna know?
Good.
So I would like have to park down the street on her block because a lot of the other people who were in it lived on the same street. So I would have to hide my car, and like we'd have to go to like a different store or a different gym if we were working out. It was a whole fucking thing.
Oh my god. Really?
Yeah. And her and I were really close, and I ended up confiding in her about it. And then all of a sudden, like, we just kind of like stopped talking. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I guess because this guy who I was messing around with was very toxic. Like,
Ooh.
very, very toxic. So...
Was he the one that was like cheating on you?
Yeah, that one.
Spoilers.
Yeah, so that happened, and so I would like kind of just go about my business, whatever, like carrying on with life, doing whatever I'm gonna do, working. Like, okay, if you don't want to be friends with me, whatever. Like, I was a little bit hurt, but I wasn't like so butthurt that I was like, oh, like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, okay, like, carry on with your life, sis. And I didn't realize it at the time, but she was having, like, dreams of, like, murdering me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that's why she didn't want to be friends with me anymore, because the things that I was telling her about him and I were so toxic that it made her want to not talk to me. So...
Wait, was it the guy being so toxic, or
yes, the guy
the
was
situation?
Being, kind of like the situation mainly, but she.
I'm not done yet, by the way.
I was gonna be like, what the fuck? Look at this. I have squiggles.
I have a gradient and a little sun. What? What's that look for?
Yours looks so good. Mine looks like shit.
No, you're just getting started though.
True.
You painted like a third of the canvas. Me, all I did was blend colors together. That's all I did.
You make it sound so easy to an autistic artist.
I mean, it's literally just like smearing colors together.
You know? I'm like generously mixing.
You've paint on you.
I know, it's fine. So yeah, just like that whole thing was happening, and I didn't know it, and So then I'm going about my business, whatever. I graduate, and I'm not including like the time where I was like, I'm just including kind of like a synopsis. So I'm not including like the extra shit that I did. But I graduate, he comes to my graduation, we take pictures. Like, he came afterwards, like, at that part to take photos. And
Wait, is that a guy I haven't met?
I don't,
I
probably.
was at your graduation.
Yeah, I don't
just
know
don't
if
know
you
how
guys
that
had
guy.
left yet.
Oh, maybe.
It's possible. Like, I think he came afterwards or something like that. And he gave me a card, which I enjoyed. And then he was like, oh, I gotta go. And I was like, okay, fine, not a big deal, whatever. And shortly after that, he started being like really weird and like not wanting company, because that's what I called it. I'd be like, oh, do you want some company tonight?
Real slick.
But I was also like really fucking horny in this time of my life. Like every day I needed it.
I can't picture that.
What do you mean?
I just can't imagine that for myself. Like, I just cannot imagine being horny every day.
Girl, I would be so upset when I was on my period because I couldn't have sex. It was fucking torture,
I mean, if the man's not a wuss.
which he was. Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. So,
Like, I'm sorry, if you're the kind of man that can't handle a little bit of blood, like, I'm sorry, you have a shit ton of blood in your body, so, like,
yeah.
shut up, you have no place.
Right, exactly. So then I come over and I'm visibly like crying on his couch, and I didn't know. So the guy from New York City, he moved back, and another guy moved in, part of the group, who was also from New York City. And I didn't realize that this other guy was home in his room, and I was yelling at him. And I'm like, you need to fucking tell me what we are. We've been doing this for 2.5, going on 3 years. If you don't tell me if you want to date me or you don't want to continue, I'm going to have to say something to someone. And he's like, no, it's fine how it is, whatever. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Because I was a little dumb bitch back then. And then his roommate heard everything, so he found out. But at the same time, around the same time, I would come over and I would see a condom in the trash, and we would never use condoms. So I'm like,
You didn't use condoms? Girl!
we did like the first 3 times.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Also, not a
You're
good
better
idea.
than this. You're
Yeah.
better than this.
Yes. But yeah, so we were both also, do not recommend, we were both being sluts on either side. So like I would have a roster where if I had a date with someone, I would go, but then if he would call me to come over for a booty call afterwards, I would go. So do not recommend. And he would do kind of the same thing, like if he would go out.
This started off as an MLM story.
It's all fucking. This is how bad it was.
Oh.
How bad it was. So then, I would find a condom in the trash, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he was like, oh, like, whatever. It was just like some girl I brought home from the bar last night. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And then I would find an earring on his desk. And I'm like, whose fucking earring is that? And he's like, oh, it was just some girl, I'll throw it out. So then he threw it out. And then the next time I came over, there was a hair tie. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? So,
Hang on a minute. If he was saying, oh, just some girl from the bar, like, you knew he was sleeping with other people, right?
yeah, but I was also jealous that he didn't want to be exclusive.
Yeah. But you were sleeping with other people, too.
Exactly. But I really wanted to, like, date him.
I know. I think I remember that
Yeah.
saga.
So I was like, I can confidently and regrettingly say that I probably like was in love with this person, but I also don't know how true that is because I felt like I was being love bombed after I realized what love bombing was.
Yeah.
So, then he was being like really weird towards me in front of like other people at events, and we would fight all the time. Every fucking day it was a fight. I'd be crying, I'd be pissed off at him, and then we'd say like smart remarks to each other, whatever. And then he started being like overly friendly to this other Caucasian girl that came in.
I almost spilled the paper into my coffee.
Oh God.
Oh, fuck me.
So he started being super friendly to this other Caucasian girl, and she was a part of another team, but she had like her upline assaulted her.
Whoa.
So she wanted to come to our team because she felt safe. Oh, there's something else that I totally forgot from the beginning, but I'll go back to that afterwards. So
The tea is piping hot.
girl, a lot of shit happened. I am way wiser just from this one fucking scenario.
I'm here for the tea.
So this might be a 2-hour long fucking video.
Let's go.
So then, he was being really friendly towards her, an asshole to me. So I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And then he decides, or no, she was supposed to be, okay, so she left the other group. She had to wait a year to be, I guess, by whatever standards Amway had.
They have standards?
Apparently, for going from one team to another, like, it's kind of like...
That's really unnecessarily dumb and complicated.
Yeah, exactly my point. So they basically stated, like, oh, like, you have to wait a year. It was either 6 months or a year to be active again. So she couldn't sell any products, she couldn't, like, recruit anybody, but she could, like, still come to meetings, just not do any, like, actual work. She could still, like, learn, I guess, is a better way to put it.
That's really dumb.
Yeah, stupid. So then, she's coming to all the meetings, whatever. And when it got closer towards the time where she was supposed to sign up again with our team, he told me, oh, because you're, like, struggling with signing people up. I was really good at retail, but horrible at signing people up. I think I only signed up, like, 4 people. So I was, like, struggling.
Yeah, because it should be about selling products and not selling humans.
Exactly. So he was like, oh, like, she'll be under you on your team, and, you know, that way it'll help. And I was like, okay, cool, fine. And then it gets closer, and she's active again and doing whatever. And I'm like, hey, like, I didn't see her under my roster, like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, like, she's part of my other leg, because they have, like, different legs. So I'm like, all right,
Wait,
whatever.
explain this, please.
So there's one circle, and then there's 3 lines with other circles. So each line is a leg. So this was him, and then it was one guy, another guy, and me. And she was supposed to be under me. So,
God damn, mine is looking good.
I know, I'm so fucking jealous. What the fuck?
I mean,
trying
just
to do,
keep fussing with it. You'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, I am, like, blending some colors together.
See, there you go.
So, I talked to him about it. I'm like, hey, like, that's not what we, like, agreed upon. Like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, like, she's part of my other leg. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Because he was also, like, kind of...
bitch.
He was also kind of struggling at the same time, too. But not, like, as bad as me.
Oh, fucking who?
So, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And then he starts, like, asking her, like, he was working with her, like, one-on-one more.
I'm sorry, I was, like, capping up some of the paints that I had, and this is one that I was going to use in, like, a couple minutes, and I, like, tried to cap that one up.
Oh God.
I'm not doing well tonight.
No.
Oh fuck, I didn't set the timer.
Do it right now.
Oh my god, look at my nail is actually splitting.
Ew, stop.
What ew? It's not like it's not like broken, it's just like a crack.
Anyways, let me mix my concoction up.
Well, you didn't say ew when I happened to my thumb the other day. You were like,
well, that was a picture.
yeah.
I could hold it from this far away and look at it.
Oh, honestly.
Anyway, so he was working with her one-on-one because like I was pretty, I guess, like self-sufficient. Like I didn't really need advice. I kind of just like knew what I had to do. I just wasn't doing it. And the whole thing with MLMs is they pride themselves on telling you what you're not doing and that it's a you problem and not a system problem.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, oh, you're not reading enough, you're not growing, you aren't doing this. Ooh, that was a lot.
They'll be like, oh, sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah, they're like, oh, read more books or whatever.
Oh, fuck.
What?
It's all crusty. Ugh.
What one? Oh, dang. I have a couple. Was that my weight or your weight? I think it was my weight. Yeah, just throw it in the pile, whatever.
And now your couch and me are all crusty dusty.
Ew.
Yeah, look at it.
Ew.
Yeah, it's like fucking snowflakes on me.
And an inconspicuous spot.
Really, yeah.
Anyway, so he was spending more time with her, less time with me. I was salty about it. And then, so because they kept guys and girls separate, like they wanted...
Oh, that's super fucked up.
Yeah, so they would be like, oh, like... They would basically get, like, mad if you were hanging out with another person from the team who's of the opposite gender by yourself. So they'd be like, why are you hanging out with them? Whatever.
That is so dramatic.
Stupid. Yeah. So, but apparently if they're your upline, like, it's fine. So they were hanging out and we'd go to like conferences and stuff. So I am thankful that I got to travel a little bit, but it wasn't sightseeing travel. It was there for 3 days, get fucking brainwashed, sleep deprived, and they wouldn't let you eat like outside food. They would kind of make you have like only Amway product food. So like protein shakes, bars, whatever. Like we'd all get pizza, but it was fucking Domino's pizza. And I'm like, guys, that is the most trash pizza on the fucking planet.
Excuse me, I love Domino's. Little Caesars is trash.
Anyway, shitty pizza. And so that happened, and the girls obviously would stay together in a one hotel room with like 2 or 3 beds, and then the guys would stay in a different room. So they kind of kept it like kind of separate, which like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Before then, her and I were talking, and I had put together these like little books on like what the products did or whatever. Like I was really diligent about learning. So like I was taking it seriously. If it was a good opportunity, I would have been great at it, but it wasn't. So I was kind of disappointed at that because I got sheets laminated, I had binders, I had this, like all the information, even though it was horse crap information, but I made it look good, I guess. So.
Spit shine a turd.
Huh?
Spit shine a turd.
Pretty much. So then, I was helping her put together her own binder or like showing her different things. And I was like, oh yeah, like this person and this person, my 2 uplines, or my direct and our mutual, they were going to take me out for lunch for my birthday. And she was like, oh, like that's nice. Where are you guys going to go? And I was like, I don't know. I think they want to take me to like Olive Garden or something. I don't know. And she's like, oh, cool. And she's like, you talk about him a lot. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, like, you seem like you guys are really close. I'm like, kinda, like brother and sister, oil and water, whatever. And she was like, oh, okay. And then, he ended up having cancer.
What? I remember that part.
Didn't respond to me for 48 hours and didn't show up to meetings. And then his upline came to me and was like, hey, like, this is a scenario going on with him, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, that would have been fucking nice to know.
Yeah.
And so I was pissed off at him about that. And
As you should be.
yes, so he has cancer. That happened like a little bit before this interaction that I just explained. So I was like, oh yeah, like, I don't know if you know, but like, he has this or whatever, like, explaining the situation. And then I guess she told him, he got mad at me for telling her, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? So then anyway.
That's kind of a big thing, like.
Yeah. So then this was in like the winter time around my birthday. That this had happened, like between like October and December.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets deported in like February of that following year. So he was unemployed and driving for Uber, and he was technically a Canadian citizen, and then went to drop someone off across the border, and they just wouldn't let him back over in the US. So he got like pretty much stuck back in Canada and didn't say anything to anybody, didn't see him, and he didn't mention anything to me. So then when I found out, I'm like, dude, come on, like, what the fuck? Alright, anyway, thank you.
Look at all of this.
Ew, crusty bitch. But yeah, this is what we're looking like so far.
My crusty disc.
Look at it. Does it look pretty?
It does look pretty. I love the colors you picked.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, back to the story. So then he gets deported, doesn't say anything. And at this time, he obviously wasn't working. He unexpectedly got deported. So, I would send him money. I'd send him like $200 from my paycheck.
Girl.
For his like Airbnb and gas and food and whatever, because he couldn't Uber in Canada. So,
Wasn't he a Canadian citizen?
yeah, but he didn't have a job there. So he was kind of just like flying by the seat of his pants.
But why couldn't he Uber?
Because, I don't know, like maybe Uber wasn't in Canada or something like that. I don't remember.
He's probably just lying to you.
Probably. I can't remember.
Money.
Probably. So, anyway, I send him money, and I would drive up to Toronto to see him like every couple days. Meanwhile, I'm still working. I have a full-time job. I'm graduated, and I'm working in a call center, working 10-hour shifts.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't feel legal.
Well, I work 4 days a week, so it's 40 hours. And I would like pick up overtime here and there too. So, was this the one that was busted?
This is the busted one.
Okay. So I would drive to Toronto after my shift at like 9 o'clock, and then I would
God damn it.
not sleep basically for obvious reasons. And then I would come back, drive through Toronto rush hour traffic, and come into work. Couple days a week, yeah. There are times where I don't know how I made it through a 10-hour shift because I was running on like 45 minutes of sleep.
Listen, I love you. You are one of my favorite people on this planet.
I'm a dum-dum, I know.
Where were your brain cells in this era?
They were long gone, sister. Long fucking gone. So,
apparently it's not exclusively men who think with their hormones.
Listen, we were a horny bunch back then. So, yeah,
Hey, you survived.
we did. I find out that, okay, so he's in Canada, and me and this girl kind of like holding down the fort here with whatever. So this was the time where I asked to borrow some makeup. It was around like, I think like May or June, something around there. It was summer for sure. And she gave me the makeup. I brought it back the next day, and I remember I texted her and I was like, hey, like I'm here, like can I come up? Because I know she had a roommate at the time. So I was like, oh, do you want me to come up now or wait or whatever? And she wasn't responding. So I was just like, oh, like I'll just walk up to the door and start knocking or ring the doorbell. And the one window was open, and I was driving.
And they were fucking?
No. He was in Toronto at the time. But like maybe like 3 or 4, it was May actually, 3 or 4 days before that, I was driving back from Jersey from a conference, and I was talking to him on the phone because I was driving at night, and he asked me to marry him.
What?
Yeah. I almost got married.
God damn.
Yeah, he asked me
He
to
probably
marry
just wanted
him.
a visa, right?
No.
Oh.
No, he wanted me to marry him, and I was like, I'm gonna have to think about that. Like, that's kind of a big decision. Knowing,
especially for someone who didn't even want to commit to you?
Yeah, exactly. And then he was of Indian descent, so it would have to be like either a 2 wedding or just a Hindu wedding or whatever.
That would have been really fun.
It would have been. I was genuinely thinking about it. So I was like, can you give me a week? And in that week was when I was still thinking it over and whatever, trying to go with pros and cons. And I swear to God, Heather, I was this close to saying yes until this scenario happened where I'm knocking on her door, her window's open, and she's saying the exact same thing to her roommate, that he wanted her to marry him, but he was concerned because his dad wouldn't let his brother marry his girlfriend. Like, his brother's girlfriend. Like, them married. And I'm like, that sounds awfully familiar. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I was a little bit like, weird. And then she came down. She's like, oh, like, hey, sorry. And I was like, yeah, not a problem. And then she's like, oh, by the way, like, I don't know if you know this, but, like, me and this person are dating. And I'm like, for how long? And she's like, about 1.5 years. And I'm like, we've been fucking for like 4 years. And she's like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, no.
Oh my God.
The amount of did I ever tell you that?
Maybe.
I don't
This
think
is
so.
straight out of a soap opera. Oh my God.
So then we call him together.
Oh yes.
So I call him, he doesn't pick up. She calls him, he doesn't pick up. And then we video call him.
Yes.
He declines it and then calls either one of us back. And we're like, what the fuck were you thinking? And he has no response. 0 response. He's dead quiet. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And I'm like, didn't mean to, little dick? Really? We went off.
Ooh.
Oh, our vocal cords were so sore from screaming at him.
Wow.
And so her and I got to chatting afterwards, and she was giving him money. She was driving to Toronto as well.
Oh my God.
Yup. And
I vaguely remember this, but I didn't remember the details.
yeah. So, and then he would have me come after the, like, so he would hang out with her, go do boyfriend, girlfriend stuff. And then if, like, she didn't want to have sex or something, he would call me.
Oh my God.
So, yeah. That's,
You poor thing. Used you like a tissue.
I guess so, yeah. Okay, after that, I don't want to use that one. I'll go back to this one. So after that, obviously she tells the mutual upline, and it comes out to somehow everybody that I'm the mistress and the side chick.
Oh, honestly, even though you were there way longer.
Yeah. But apparently everybody knew that they were dating but me.
What?
Mm-hmm.
How did everyone keep that from you?
We weren't allowed to talk to each other about stuff like that. They would be like, oh, like, if it's not your relationship, stay out of it.
Oh, honestly.
Yeah. So, I had no clue. And when I tell you, I have never felt more slut-shamed in my entire life. It was bad. I went to, like, 1 or 2 conferences after that. And I would kind of keep to myself at this point. The amount of people that would just, like, either not talk to me or not sit by me was ridiculous. And I would text him and I'd be like, you do realize that, like, all of these people are treating me differently, right? And he's like, no, they're not. And I'm like, nobody talks to me. Like, people who were friendly with me wouldn't even engage in conversation anymore. Or they would keep it, like, really short. He's the only slut that should
be shamed.
Yeah. And I'm like, this wasn't even my fault. Had I had known that you guys were sleeping together, I wouldn't have, like...
Yeah.
You could have just said, hey, like, I'm dating someone. You didn't have to say who it was. After that, my female upline, who was everybody else's upline, comes and talks to me after a meeting, and she's like, so... because I was considering the boyfriend that I was with at the time, the one who cheated on me after that, he was gonna come join the business or whatever, something like that, I can't remember. I had to talk to her about it for something. And, she straight up said to me, I'm not even kidding, she said, if you want to kiss someone, hold hands, date, or screw someone, I need to know about it.
What the fuck?
Because you keep getting, or what did she say? She said, oh, you know, your judgment is clouded right now, and, you know, you keep picking people that are bad for you. And I need to be, like, they need to be courted through me.
Oh,
and I'm like,
God.
In my head,
Please
I'm like...
tell me that was the final straw.
Nah. But it was kind of one of them, because it was almost right before the pandemic. So in my head, I'm like, you're not going to tell me who I'm going to fuck. Excuse you, lady.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But the ironic part is, her husband tried to sleep with me, like, 4 years earlier, when I first started.
Shit.
Yeah. So... somebody's not doing it too well in the bedroom. So yeah, that had happened. And the whole reason why me and the original guy that was having a girlfriend behind my back got close was because I told him about it, and he said, oh, you don't want to ruin a business, like their business they've worked so hard for or whatever. I'm like, dude, like, he has a whole ass wife. Like, their anniversary was my birthday.
Wow.
Like, can you, like, calm it down? So, yeah. I was like, interesting. Interesting take there, lady. And, then the pandemic hit, and I was really struggling with the business, but I was also working, like, a shit ton of hours at the call center, so I genuinely, like, didn't really have time. And my boyfriend, who was there with me, we would, like, do meetings online or whatever like that, and he would ask me questions, and he was, like, considering joining or whatnot. And he ended up cheating on me while in Buffalo, while at my apartment, considering that I drove 8 hours, or no, not 8 hours, 6.5 hours to the Bronx to come pick him up after a 10-hour shift.
Oh my God.
and then drive 8 hours immediately back.
Oh my god.
And he stayed with me for a couple months. I think like 2 months, a month or two, something like that. And during those 2 months, he cheated on me and then went back to the city, and he was supposed to move in and he didn't. I do commend him though for at least having the brass knuckles to fucking tell me. I do commend that. But
Yeah.
you know, you still shouldn't have done it anyway, because I straight up asked him around that time, like, did you cheat on me? Or did you do something with this other girl? And he's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, so he lied about it.
Yeah. And so, yeah. Then I did, like, 1 or 2, like, little itty-bitty, like, meetings after that. And I just kind of got, like, fed up.
I just painted myself.
Oh, do you see this?
I like dropped the fresh brush onto my hand or my arm.
So I did like 1 or 2 like little conferences or whatever, and I just felt like the information wasn't helping me. So I kind of just fizzled out. And then I ended up, or no, I removed myself from all like the group chats or whatever. And then like some people would be like, hey, like that I was kind of cool with. They'd be like, hey, like is everything okay? Like you alright? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just like pursuing other adventures. And they're like, oh, okay, have fun. And then the female upline who told me I have to like tell her when I fuck someone was like, oh, like I thought we were closer than that. Like,
Wow.
if you're considering leaving, like just know that you have a friend here with us. And I'm like, bitch, please. Okay, everybody's judging me, including you. So fuck off.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was not happy. And then I just kind of fizzled myself out. And then it wasn't until, so that was in 2020.
I did not realize you were with it for that long. Like up until that recently.
Pretty much 5 years.
Wow.
4.5, 5 years, yeah. So
Insane.
what happened after that? Oh, so that was in 2021 in like the summer. And then I kind of went into like hermit mode, and like the guy that I was dating after that, I ended up deleting like all my social media. So it was kind of like a well-needed reset in a way, where it became like very private, and I didn't really want people to know who I am because I was obviously embarrassed.
Aww.
And there's I think it was like, what year are we in? 2024. So
Yeah.
like August of 2022, we came back from Boston, me and my ex, and I was sitting on
The trash bag.
I was sitting on my bed watching YouTube, and I was like, you know what? I was feeling very strongly about it, and I was like, I should just type. Like, I felt like I didn't get closure from a lot of things, like why, and I had like negative feelings and stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna write my thoughts down one night, and I'll type it up, and if I feel like doing something with it, then I will. And at this point I still had like a whole bunch of books, because I truly can't see throwing books out. So I messaged one of the girls that I was like kind of cool with, and I was like, hey, like do you remember like the mutual upline's address, because I couldn't remember it. And she's like, yeah, why? And I was like, oh, I have like some books that like either if you want I could ship it to you, or I'm just gonna like mail it to her. She's like, oh, okay. And then she immediately said, I'm gonna have to let her know that I talked to you about this. And I'm like, what the
That's
fuck?
disgusting.
I'm like, okay, whatever. So then she texted me, the mutual upline. She's like, oh, hey, like I heard you had some books. And I was like, yeah, like I just want to get rid of them. They'll be at better use for you guys than with me. She's like, okay, like bring them over. And she did pay me for them, which I'm like, I wasn't expecting. But I'm like, okay, cool. Because it was probably like $400 worth of books.
Jesus.
Yeah, I had like 3 big stacks. And so when I dropped him off, we like sat and had like tea and like kind of caught up a little bit. And by this point she had like a son, so I was like, okay, whatever. And
Oh, like a really little one?
yeah, like about a year. And I had always told her like, oh, I'm so excited to like, you know, watch you become a mom or whatever. Like her and I were kind of close until she like dropped me. And then it would just got like really awkward after that. And she was like, oh, like when you get pregnant, like, you know, reach out to me. And like, you know, I guess her and my grandma were like, she would always ask like how she is and whatnot. The one that I was venting to about earlier.
Yeah.
Can you see why?
Yeah, damn.
So she's like, oh, like, you know, I want to go
There's
visit
so
her.
much lore about your other grandma.
Yeah. So she was like, oh, like, you know, what do you like, I don't remember her address. Like, I'd like to go visit her with my son and whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'll text it to you. And then when I left, I'm like, you're not coming anywhere near my family. Absolutely not. Because my Nana basically, like, kind of kept me in and enabled me in a way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
She would, like, be very supportive of me. So I'm like, oh, that was probably a bad decision. And this was a time, like, probably about halfway through when I was still in school, I actually almost punched my mom in the face over it.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me that story.
Well, my mom was, like, upset that I wasn't, like, coming to see her, which she was also, like, going through menopause at this time. But, like, she was also actively trying to get me out. Actively trying to get me out. And...
like a good mother.
Yes, but when... For notation purposes, if you meet someone who's in a cult, they are not going to listen to a goddamn thing that you say.
Fair.
So sorry on that. It's not our fault. It's not their fault. It's just the way things are.
They're
not gonna
conditioned
listen.
to not trust people outside of that
Yeah,
cult.
exactly. We got in a full-fledged argument, like screaming over the table at each other. And I banged my fist so hard on the table that I made my knuckle bleed.
Whoa.
And I was like, what if I fail? Like, if I fail, then fucking let me. Which was actually, like, kind of dope advice. But, like, I kind of regret that now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I almost punched her in the face. And that kind of also added to the fuel between my mom and Nana. And then... so back to this bitch ass. So she was like, oh, like, you know, let me know when you have a kid. And I was like, no. And at that point, after I had dropped the books off, I was like, okay, I'm going, because in that note that I had put, I wrote how I felt about the whole scenario, how everyone was judging me, how her husband tried to make a pass on me, how like isolated that I felt and taken advantage of and things like that. And I told her to leave me and my family alone. And I sent it in an email to an email that they know that they still use. And I don't know if they ever read it. They never responded. I blocked them. But it felt so good just to like say it and send it to them. And, but wait, there's more. So, shortly after that, we came back from vacation in Boston.
Is it your girlfriend?
No, and I'm still single.
Sure you are.
I am. It was my cousin. He was explaining the beer scenario. They're expired.
Aw, his beers are expired.
Yeah.
How bad are they?
Since December 23rd.
Of this year?
Or
Or last
2024, or 2023, yeah.
That's not too bad.
No.
I would risk it.
Yeah, sure. But anyway, so, I don't know, because these are really warm and these are really cool, but I don't know how'd you do that? How'd you do this part to mix it?
I had the lavender.
This color?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. It was like a really light purple. Why am I not?
Or is it this one?
I think it was that one.
Okay.
And then I blended I started off with like, I think it was called peacock blue, and then I realized it wasn't as dark as I wanted it to be. So I went over with the dark purple, and then I blended the dark purple into that lighter purple. And then I blended the lighter purple into that goldenrod color.
This one?
Yeah. And then I blended the goldenrod into like a lighter yellow.
Okay. We're gonna go for it, I guess.
There's my finished product. Shut the fuck up.
Actually, I should probably
You're
use...
still going. Also, purple and yellow are complementary.
That is very true.
So
I'm kind of
That
going
helps.
with like warm sunset.
I like those colors. I like your color scheme.
Yay!
It is so fun. And
It's
funky.
kind of oxy, but it's whatever. So yeah, we came back from vacation in Boston, and I was scrounging the internet because I still had like a lot of resentment towards it. So I was like, okay, like
As you should.
let's scrounge the world of YouTube. And I was finding videos of people who had very similar experiences in Amway and whatnot. And then, lo and behold, I came across Cece Suarez. Shout out to you, Cece. I appreciate you. I am a subscriber. You are fucking hilarious and make me feel less self-conscious about my double chin. So thank you so much for that. And she was... I can't remember what it was, but she covers all different types of, like, she's not strictly anti-MLM content. She's more of, like, anti-scam, like, commentary. So I binged her shit and Hannah Alonso. And they did these, like, I don't want to say, like, listener write-ins, but, like, horror stories. And I was fucking hooked. I would listen to them all day while I was working. It was like my favorite type of content. I would watch all of them and just kind of like have the time of my life, realizing that it wasn't like those negative feelings that I was having towards him and those people weren't bad feelings. It was just like about the opportunity and how I was treated. And they do cover like, you know, don't be like, there's a lot of shame that goes into it. But you don't have to feel like that because it's not technically your fault.
Yeah.
Like
not your fault at all.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. So, it was very helpful and kind of solidified, okay, like I did make the right decision in leaving.
Yes, you did.
And like there are certain things that I like, the job that I left earlier, like late last year in October, I wouldn't have been in that job had I not been in contact with someone at Life Storage. So like I'm very thankful for the opportunities that I had because of it, like the things that I learned and the people that I met, but I would not do it again.
For sure.
How's it look so far?
It's looking pretty.
We're trying.
You just gotta keep messing with it till it does something.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah. Anything else that I missed, Heather?
Oh god, that was...
Oh wait, but yeah, there's more. Sorry. I got really distracted.
No, go for it.
So, this was towards the end of 2022, early December. Cause I have an Android, and this is what I love about Android, is when people who I've blocked their number, I can see if they've tried to text me.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I somehow found or remembered or figured out that one guy's number who cheated on me. And I was hemming and hawing because I was in a relationship at this point and not a very healthy one. So I was like, if he finds out that I messaged this guy, it's fucking done. So I'm like, you know what? screw it. I'm already not feeling great about this.
Wasn't that around the time you dumped him anyway?
I'm getting to it.
Oh, sorry.
There's more to the story.
Okay.
So I was like, fuck it, whatever. We're gonna see what the fuck happens. So I text him, just hey, and he knew my number. So he responds, hey, is this so-and-so? And I was like, yep. And he was like, oh, how's it going? And I was like, going all right. And I was telling him like, oh, like I'm like regular conversation with like someone that you haven't talked to in a while. It was pretty casual. And I was telling him like, yeah, like about my boyfriend and, you know, basically fake saying like, oh, I'm so happy, whatever, like we're gonna get married, we're gonna have a baby. And then like he knew that after we talked I would have to block him. So I was like, okay, cool. And it was this whole like probably like week-long thing of, and he was like very casual about it. He's like, oh, like if you want to talk, like just hit me up, it's fine. If you want to keep me blocked, it's also fine. So I was like, all right, whatever. And I would go back and forth, basically when my boyfriend wasn't around, of course. And we were talking on the phone one night and I was explaining to him like, yeah, like honestly, I'm kind of not so sure about this guy now. Whatever. Not like venting relationship problems to him, but kind of. And he was like, well, sounds like he doesn't know how to treat someone like appropriately. Not saying
Neither
that
does this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Not that he did either. But he at least like the whole reason for me contacting him was because I felt like I had questions unanswered. So I wanted to know, like, did you feel the same way about me that I felt about you? Did you really love me? Did, like, you see a future with me? Did you really want to marry me? Like, those things that was like, I don't know, like, I'm still gonna think about it if I don't know the answers to this kind of stuff, you know? And I'm a chronic overthinker, so I wanted to know. So he was like, well, I don't want to say like I loved you, but like you were very, very near and dear to me, but like, you know, you were there for me in a time where I didn't know like what was gonna happen, like I wanted to kill myself. Like
Even though he was being a little hoe and all of his problems were
yeah, exactly.
self-caused.
He did apologize about that. He's like, I shouldn't have treated you like that. Like I was so dumb for doing that. And I'm like, well, at least you fucking apologize. So that was kind of like nice to get like a little bit of closure. And then so we were talking on the phone one night, right? And this is where I have like a crazy fucking dream. I don't know if I told you this.
I don't know if you did.
I think so.
Refresh my memory.
So we were talking on the phone and it was like kind of late. And at this time my bed was against like the back wall of my apartment. So like the outside wall. And it's a brick building. So like it gets really cold. It's also winter time. And
you did tell me about this.
Yeah, my headboard was, or I didn't have a headboard. My bed was on the floor, but the head of my bed was against the wall, the outer wall. And so we were talking on the phone till probably like maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we hang up, I go to sleep, I'm sleeping. In my dream, I'm talking on the phone to him. And then as I'm on the phone with him, I hear a drilling sound. And I feel... Okay, hang on. Let me blend this out real fast. How does it look?
It looks pretty.
It kind of looks like rainbow.
It really does.
I just gotta add some finishing touches, like some stuff in the bottom.
Yeah.
So let it
maybe
sit for a second.
sea shovels.
Yeah, and like I gotta do the sun of course.
And maybe like a texture on the water.
Yeah.
You could also put more blue. over top of the water so it looks more like water?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'm letting it sit for a second.
Yeah.
So then, I am laying like this, talking on the phone like that, and I feel something above my head. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I feel against the wall, and I tell him this through my dream in my phone. And I'm like, it sounds like the maintenance guy is outside my apartment. And he's like, what does it sound like? And I was like, it sounds like there's a drill. And as I'm feeling down the wall, I feel a drill bit come through, like kind of behind where my head is. And any rightful person, when you feel something come through a wall, through a hole, you have to investigate. So I'm like, there's a drill bit, and I see the drill bit slowly come out. It's a perfect hole, like maybe this big. And I'm still on the phone with him, and I look through the hole, and I see an eye like this peering back at me, and it's a dark brown eye of a Caucasian man. And then I see him like slowly back away, and it's not a face that I don't think I've ever saw before, and I definitely didn't recognize it. And then he puts a gun to his head, and I hear him shoot himself, but I backed away so I didn't see it. And then I woke up.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that dream.
Yeah, and I called my boyfriend. He didn't answer, so I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna go sleep on the couch.
Wow.
And the conversation that me and him were having that night was about me considering breaking up with my ex.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, actually, like, I kind of don't really want to be with him. And he's like, well, then what are you still doing there? And I'm like, you know what? Great question, actually. And then I talked it over with my mom. And she's like, just don't do it before Christmas. Don't do it before Christmas.
Too late.
And I'm like, well, I can't stand to kiss or look at him, so I kind of have to do it, like, soon.
Oh my god.
Like, he walked in the door and I was, like, utterly repulsed.
That's when you know it's over.
Yeah. And yeah. Then I broke up with him. So.
Oh my god, speaking of dreams, you already know all this information, but I have been having just the most insane dreams lately. I had one like a couple days ago that was just like, it started out pretty dark and then it just kept getting more and more dark. And then like last night I finally had a dream that was like not all that dark. Like in my dream, I was out with John, and I think we were, like, somewhere in Canada. Like, it felt like Clifton Hill.
Okay.
Like, that kind of, like, circus-y kind of
Oh,
vibe.
boy.
And, like, in the dream, he proposed to me. And I remember, I literally told you, I texted you this morning.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember wanting to tell you, but also wanting to, like, plan like just the right moment to tell my family, because it was the kind of thing where like I wanted to tell people in person. And I remember you were there and like a lot of members of my mom's family, so I was like, all right, gotta stop hiding my hand now, you know, like let's tell them all. And I remember hugging everybody one by one.
Do you think that maybe you had it because you watched the Chosen Family episode where Elena got proposed to and she was hiding her hand?
I don't think that was the reason why I had that dream.
Well, it could have contributed a little bit.
Yeah, but like I was like deliberately trying to hide it because I wanted to like do like a big reveal. But anyways, I remember like hugging the members of my mom's family one by one. And like one of the last people that I hugged was my great uncle Bob. And we had a conversation where it was like, where he was like, oh, congratulations. And then he was like something like, oh, I don't know if I'll be there for it. And I was like, you'll be there. And then I woke up, and then like 5 minutes after I woke up, I was like, oh, fuck. Because Bob passed away in 2022. It's funny.
Sorry.
So yeah. I don't think I've ever been visited by him in a dream before, but that was very nice.
How sweet.
I was never very close to him, and I kind of regret that. because he seemed like a really interesting person.
Mhm.
So like that was nice. I don't know, it was just sweet.
It is sweet.
Yeah, it was just ironic that I woke up like, oh, finally a happy dream, and I was like, oh fuck. And then it didn't help that like someone related to someone that married in the family passed away literally overnight. So
That looks like a shitty son.
I went very tiny and subtle with mine.
Okay, stop moving.
Sorry. Do you have any closing thoughts on...
Don't join an MLM!
Do you have any like wild stories that weren't like that are just like one-off, like weird things that happened or things that you were told that you didn't already touch on?
There's a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna do like a synopsis of kind of MLMs in general. There are a lot of them out there.
Yes.
There's new ones popping up all over the fucking place. So be careful.
Oh my god.
Say.
We should get the one of the little ring fizzy bath bombs from
No.
Elena.
No.
No. Remember she was gonna do like a live
She's
stream
donating it for charity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We should get on her live stream.
She already did it.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, I need to do seashells. Where's my other brush? Sorry. I'm not done yet. Apparently.
I'm such a thirsty ass bitch today.
I don't know how I've only taken like one sip of coffee this whole fucking time. And I've been yammering.
I like kind of fucked myself up earlier in the day because we like ran out of water at work. Cause like we have like a water cooler, but my boss also gets like cases of water bottles. And I normally just stick to the cooler and just like fill up my bottle that I normally drink out of. But we ran out of the cooler water like a week or two ago. And then I used like the last bottle today, so I was like rationing it out. And then like literally like probably an hour or two before I left, I looked and he had gone to the store and gotten like a bunch of cases of water and a bunch of like jugs for the cooler. And I was like, wow, too little too late, okay. So like I guess my body is like trying to catch up.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you didn't give me enough earlier in the day, so I'm probably gonna have a stress dream tonight too.
Why?
Because every time I drink too much before I go to bed,
Too much alcohol?
no, too much water. Like you know when you physically have to pee so bad that you can like feel it in your dream, and then your dream is like about you having to pee, but then you can't find a place to pee that's like private or normal.
I'm listening.
Please tell me that's not just a me thing.
No, I have those, but they're very one-offy.
Usually it's stress or I really have to pee if I have those kind of dreams. But I feel like because of all this stupid water I just chugged, I'm probably I'm in for a miserable night.
We did Patrick!
Oh, give him little shorts.
No. He's a show. A starfish.
He's a starfish. Give him green shorts.
No.
We probably have green. Yeah, we have green.
No. No. He's fine.
But it's not Patrick without the shorts.
He's a starfish.
Should we wrap it up? When you're done, of course.
Yeah. Closing thoughts on MLMs?
Thank God I was never in one of them.
Yes.
I don't have the social skills to even think about joining one, so I guess I'm safe in that regard.
Yes, you are. I would concur. Okay, I think we'll do... And... Sorry, I'm doing one more show, and then I'm done. I promise. Oh, this ain't gonna work.
Do one of like the twisty ones.
That's what I was gonna do. I'll do one in the water.
Why wasn't it gonna work?
Because it's brown.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a piece of dog shit.
It just looks like a blob.
Okay, closing thoughts. Don't join an MLM. If you do, it's okay. Do not feel bad about it. Just try to
Anyone
get
could
out.
get tricked, yeah.
Listen to your family. If you're someone who has a family member or a friend in one, don't support their business. Don't buy products from them. Don't
I feel called out.
it. No. I didn't realize that until after the fact. So like
yeah.
by doing that, you're helping them feel like they're gonna succeed, but they're going to have to like fall on their own, and they'll realize it in their own time when something bad happens. For me, it just happened to be a whole lot of bad shit in a short amount of time.
That was so messy.
Yeah.
So messy.
So let's see
Final?
where.
I am so proud of how mine turned out.
I love yours. I'm so
Thank
jealous. What about mine?
Yours was gorgeous. I love your colors. I see the vision.
Don't look at my doo-doo stain right there.
Doo-doo stink.
That's what I call Lily's dingleberries that stick to her butt. I call them doo-doo stinks. But yeah, so we hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you learned something.
This was truly the messiest MLM story I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Sorry I was a little quiet. I was more just the
Focused.
audience today.
Yeah.
I was the audience.
Yeah, we've been through some shit in our 20s that I feel robbed of my first half of my 20s.
Really?
Yeah. And then being in a horrible relationship immediately after that. Yeah.
Your second half is gonna be amazing. What's left of your 20s anyway? Sorry.
The next 2 years, you better count your blessings.
I forgot how close you were to 30.
Yeah, I'm only 2 years away, girl. But no, we hope you learned something.
Oh my god, the first half of my 20s is over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 2 weeks away from being 25.
Shit goes downhill from here, babe.
I feel like it's going uphill this year. Like,
Physically, it's gonna go downhill. Like, your knees are gonna hurt.
but think about it. This year, I'm taking more active measures to take better care of my body.
You are.
So hopefully I'll build habits that I can keep with and not break down the second I hit 30.
True. Very true. But, yeah. If you have any questions for me about, MLMs or anything like that, feel free to comment, message, like, share.
Any stories of your own?
Yes,
I want to hear the juicy gossip from other people too.
Yeah, maybe we'll do like a little bit of a commentary of like if you guys also want to send in horror stories or anything like that, we'd love to read them. I personally am a fiend for those type of content. So if you guys are too and you want to see more of that, like we can definitely do it. But yeah, any questions, comments, concerns, let us know. And Sappho and her sister out, I think, right?
See ya.
Bye.